So we'll connect to our Ujjayi breath, getting our feet active, our skull aligned over our tailbone. And as we connect to our breath, the energetic body stretches out a little bit. That breath field gives us a little volume, a little expansion. As we allow the head to feel freely connected through the neck, feel for that breath reaching the brain, the back of the brain, the top, the way that we're breathing ought not to create sudden or what's the word? Funny head pressures. But the head breathes with the rest of the body. The head is the body. So we want to make sure to include the head as body. And I think this is especially important when we do a pranayama like alternate nostril breathing. So just a little sidebar, because all these things are situated in a context of things I'm observing and some others. So when we're doing alternate nostril breathing, sometimes there's a tendency to pull, like pulling the breath with the neck muscles, pressurizing the head. And just be attuned to that. I think with this particular breath, it's might be more challenging or statistically rarer to breathe with the whole body. But we're including the head, including the body. Let's begin a round let's do a 1 to 2 to 2 ratio. So for example, 5 in, 10 hold, 10 out. I'll just start us off. If the thumb closes one nostril, inhale 5. Hold 10. Opening, freeing the skull neck juncture. And then lifting the thumb up, exhaling 10. So here's usually where it happens when we start to feel a little bit out of breath. The tendency is to kind of suck the air in with our face and neck muscles. Inhale 5, a little more, a little less. Keeping that head pressure fluent as the abdomen breathes. Right, hold. And then we'll exhale. So the thumb side is closed, exhaling about 10. And we'll continue at our own count because our counts may start to vary wildly. So. And so we're using this pranayama time to just feel, observe the nature of the head space. There's a space in the body into which we We can breathe. We do breathe. We'll finish the round that we're on and we'll do one more. One more consists of 2 breaths. Okay. So we're going to do some funny shoulder business. So we're going to do shoulder shrugs on one side at a time. And the premise for that is so you can feel how your shoulder participates in the turn, the spiraling, the movement of your spine and your ribs. So we'll start with the left side. We'll leave the arm just relaxed by our side. Inhale into the upper back. We're just going to raise the left shoulder up, just the left one. Squeeze the left one back, meaning kind of nearer to the spine. Exhale. And squeeze and drag. Okay. Right side. Inhale into the upper back. Raise up that right shoulder. So you are getting that trap super involved. Squeeze. Exhale. Squeeze and drag. Release. Inhale. Left shoulder blade, middle-ish. Squeeze, exhale, drag. Inhaling the right shoulder blade, aiming for about the middle. Squeeze, exhale. Drag. And then going for the bottom, inhale. Bottom tip left. So maybe you're already discovering by now the motion of the blade can either kind of move the the whole of my rib cage, or you might be holding that rib cage stationary, like a counter rotation. You create those movements in the shoulder muscles. Inhaling, on the right side, the bottom tip. I didn't say expressly which way to do it, so it's more of an exploration. All right. Now I will do both together. Inhale. Raise both shoulders. Squeeze both shoulders. Exhale, squeeze and drag. Inhaling, releasing both shoulders. Middle parts. Exhale, squeeze and drag. Inhaling, releasing both shoulders. Bottom tips, both of them. Squeezing, dragging. And let's switch the cross of our legs. Do one more little bit of shoulder nonsense. So bring the left elbow up. Actually, let's do it this way. Changed my mind. Inhale, reaching the left arm out. The knuckles face in, the thumb faces down. And then exhale, reaching through the fingertips. Letting that whole arm and shoulder blade just move way across the rib cage. And inhale. You go a little different angle. The second one, instead of reaching straight out away from the shoulder, take the hand to about your solar plexus height and kind of central. And as you're exhaling, you're reaching a little bit down and toward the midline of your body. And then inhale, just let that recoil. And finally, we're going to go more diagonal, almost like you're putting a diagonal sash on. So this is my left arm, somewhere over my right hip. And then exhale, my thumb points down, my finger reaches away from my right hip. And again, the ribs, maybe they travel a little bit. Maybe you find that you're kind of bracing them or counter-rotating so you have this greater sense of work or movement or force. Let's try the other side. Inhale. Let's start with the right hand about shoulder height. It's right shoulder, thumb down. Exhale, the big reach. Almost got it. Reach. Such an important reach. Those neck and upper back muscles are all linked into this move. And inhale, allowing that recoil, the relax. Second point to about the solar plexus height, middle of the body. So I'm just exhaling and reaching. How you feel your ribs and spine underneath, that's That's your play. And the final point is over the left hip. Reaching beyond the left hip, putting a sash on diagonally. All right. Now release. Simple. Let's lie on our back. We'll bring the feet off the ground. The knees over the hips. Inhale, float the head and the shoulder blades up. And shifting the tail, exhale, reach out through the left leg. And let that left elbow kind of reach over toward that right hip bone. The shoulder blades get that reach move. Pull lower belly down. A diagonal move. Inhale. Curl tailbone. Exhale as you reach the right leg out. Now let that right elbow do that diagonal reaching move. Inhale, bend right knee. Curl tailbone. Exhale as you reach the left leg out. Let the left elbow do that diagonal reach. As if it wants to travel out over that right hip bone. Draw the belly down. So I'm just kind of ringing and exciting and probing and massaging. Inhale. There's the unwinding. Curl tailbone. And then exhale as your right leg out reaches. Imagine that your right elbow's reaching across the body as if out over the left hip bone. Pull low belly down. So let's do about 3 more per side. We did a funny little setup, but maybe it encourages some new little synaptic connections in the abdomen and the shoulder blade. I don't know where, but maybe you just feel a little bit like, oh, something got different. And it's okay if the torso or the muscles shake a little bit, if you find some new access. It's okay if there's a little spasm or a little quiver of effort. We accept. And to hear the fluency of the diaphragm, the breathing helpers, through those varying efforts. What a powerful move for our breathing. Reach through the arms, you're moving and reaching through the shoulder blade. The shoulder blades are part of this abdominal. I know it seems like they're all the way on the back of the body, but the deeper, broader connections of the shoulder blade and some structural senses absolutely implicate the obliques, the abdominals, the hip, the upper back. we're going to be setting up some Virasana in bridge. So hope your block is handy. Let's get the feet down about hip width. And then exhaling, tailbone shifts. If your back feels a little stiff yet, push down through the forefeet, raise the heels. See if you can get a little bit more butt thigh to trigger on. That can be so helpful in not feeling a back stiffness. Kind of getting those. I'll even just kind of keep the heels up and let the thigh and the butt muscles, so down on the bottom, like kind of turn on, turn on, turn on, turn on, before settling the heels down. So use your own butt to make your back feel good. Now, if you got your butt to kind of trigger on really strongly coming up into bridge, we need to give a couple moments, breathing moments, to feel for that softening through the quad and the front of the hip. All right, left hand reaches for left ankle. Now giving the inner knees a little touch squeeze, not to try to move them in or touch them, but just to prevent wandering, just knee wander prevention. Plus it involves those inner legs, so really sweet for the back. Release. Let's try other side. Left foot down, right foot gets the come hither. If you only work that foot back a few inches, you can get the forefoot on the ground, and by creating a little push, you can get into that quad still. So there's really two ways you can feel into that butt quad connection. Pushing with the forefoot, that works if your ankle doesn't travel back to put the top of the foot on the ground. And release. Press away from the block, but now stay up high in the bridge. Just so you get a breath while you've pressed high and removed the prop. And this way we can exit with our breath. So with your loop nearby, I'm going to make a fairly medium, large loop. And I'm putting my entire right leg through the loop. And I'm bringing the loop all the way to my hip crease. So the loop is to put pressure on my thigh bone, but as near to my hip bone as I can get it comfortably. Right leg vertical. Now my left foot steps into the loop. And I'm using my left foot, almost like I'm stepping on a clutch, to push on the loop as I'm manually drawing my right leg to my chest. I'll say it all again. The loop's around my right thigh, very high. I'm using my hands to just draw my right leg vertical or toward my chest. And my left foot stepping on the loop. So I'm getting this kind of bone movement. And I'm breathing into the back side. And release. And go to the other side. So my left leg is entirely through the hoop hole, setting up the strap high hip. And my right foot will operate the loop like a pedal. So hands hold the left leg, like we're drawing it toward our chest, and right foot drive the loop like a pedal. This is moving the bone away from my head a little bit. There you go. And I can't tell you how bent or straight the right leg is. It's just whatever the loop dictates. And release. All right, so we shed the loop. Let's turn to a side. We'll get ready for a dolphin. Inhaling into the upper back, the arms push. There's all that upper back, that shoulder blade territory. And exhale, we'll smoothly press the knees off the ground. One of the hopes is that that loop stuff we had primed with helps you to kind of move at the hips. You might be able to step your feet forward 1 inch and really reach down through the heels. Try it out. We'll just take two or three more breaths. Just a 1 inch feet step forward. And kind of creasing at those hip socket, the hip crease area. Lengthening the pelvis back away from the brain. There you go. And then releasing, we'll set the knees down. Perfect. All right. When we stand, we'll take a wide stance. We'll be working a chest opener by way of interlacing the hands behind the back. So we get the interlace, stretching the knuckles, arms down, and for me, I go a little bit back. So you can, these are all you got a little bit of range here, but as your arms start to straighten, reaching down, you might find you can get another little dose of interest by kind of raising them back. Inhale through the pec and the collarbone with the feet active. Exhale, we're going to hinge. Those sweet hip hinge crease areas. Remain folded. Inhale, bring the hands closer to your pelvis. There, release the interlace. And then let the arms and shoulders move. Placing the hands on the ground, let's convert this to a warrior two, right foot forward. We're setting up head to ankle prep. So the forward direction, it's not a hard dogmatic forward. It's the forward that aligns with your hip socket, your hip shape. So for some people, actually have to have that foot a tiny bit in-turned, out-turned. Okay. Right hand to thigh, opened up this stance into a warrior two. Inhaling into the right hip crease. Right side back. Exhaling. Soft, ease, open, side bending. So we're kind of creating this configuration of the right side of our pelvis to hint at spacious, uncrowded, way open. And then releasing, inhale, I'll let the hand off the thigh, walk the hands toward the right foot. Leave the right hand planted. And keep pressing through this right leg. The pressure, like not enough or just the right amount, will be the difference between kind of dropping or collapsing into the joint area, like compressing, or feeling the joint area supported with the musculature. I like the latter. We'll use the muscles. Extended warrior, the left arm reaches overhead. So by reaching through that left arm, there's those wrapping, moving the shoulder blade muscles. I can actually spread the back side, the waist side. So the wrapping is that way to get those shoulder blade muscles working through the front of the body. I know it's going to sound like a far-fetched notion, but you reaching that left arm overhead is quite similar to reaching that left hand in front of your right hip. Just moving the bone. That's such a funny cue, but if it lands, you'll feel it. You'll be able to appreciate a difference in the back tissue. Inhale, we'll set the hands down, set the legs down for pigeon. Okay, with this pigeon, we'll take the left hand behind the back and grab the thigh or the waistband. Now I remain propped up on this right arm. And here's the reason. We don't do a lot of those side lying plank moves. So here's about the closest that we'll get. As I turn my chest open to my left, my right forearm will press, and I'll use all those wonderful shoulder muscles to keep that joint supported, relaxing the neck. So the left hand is reached behind the back, grabbing the thigh or the pant, and we're turning our chest open to our left. So as to not collapse in the right shoulder, just pressing. So as to not jam up in the in the low back, reach through the left leg. And release. Inhale, unwind with the hands under the shoulders. Let's step back into downward dog. Head to ankle prep. Inhale the left foot forward. Setting up warrior two stance. Left hand on left thigh. Right hand on the ground. The foot position is for the hip. If you feel stretching in the knee, change things around. Getting a very steady breath into the left side of the waist. And release. Walk the hands toward the left foot for extended warrior. The right arm reaching overhead. Wrapping the shoulder. Stretching through that right leg. So we're doing a bunch kind of here on the front end of this practice to get well and deeply into this hip back tissue. It's such a fascinating juncture in the body. It's, from the civil engineer's perspective, it's where a lot of different textures share boundary. It's where a lot of changing textures share boundary. The back side of the waist is so magnificently different than the front side of the waist. In some fields of structure study, this is considered a crossroads, this hip bone with all these various tissue qualities, front, up, down, back, considered a grand central station for structure. So when we release and we set the knee and the legs down for pigeon, we're doing a little pigeon chest opening variety. So I take the right hand, reaching behind back, grab thigh. Allowing the head to relax in a way where this chest opener can reach through across the collar and into those upper trapezius. And release. Inhale, unwind. We'll bring the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, smoothly step back into downward dog. All right, so let's right here make a pause, rest, transition moment. We'll be using the wall to work from our forearms, emergence, little upright reminder, and then I'll show you the pose reminder. I'll be taking an ankle to a thigh and using our leg pressure to send these sweetie thighs higher into the sky. And then just the reminder how that goes upside down. I'm taking an ankle to a thigh and nudging all the thighs and leg parts toward the sky. So I'll talk us in. Okay. So the setup will go from our forearms. So rich, deep chest and arm move. And then we're setting up for dolphin on the wall, which is heels near wall. And then exhale, we'll press the knees off the ground. Inhale, select the foot, go hip height. Exhale, step the other foot hip height. So you can get the kind of the lift, the drift of how the pelvis might go toward the ceiling, toward the sky. Now take your right ankle, cross it to your left quad. So ankle on thigh. Flex that right foot really strongly so your nudge doesn't transmit into the knee in a funny way. You want to use the strength of that bent right leg and that ankle and nudge that left thigh. Nudge all the leg bones you have. Now, as you're nudging, make sure to breathe. So the nudge comes with that voluntary recognition. I want to know how that registers in my nerves, in my body, in my cells. These little doses of excitement and novelty help us learn at a cellular level, energy, consciousness, movement. Let's switch sides. We'll go right foot back to the wall. Crossing the left ankle to the right thigh. Strong, vibrant flex of the left foot. There you go. And I go to the quad, like the lap of the leg. Not a tree pose, but the lap of the leg, and nudge. And with the nudge comes the breath. Because even in excitation, we remain conscious. And that is a crucial part of the kind of re-educating our cells, our nervous system. That's okay. When you're ready to release, we'll simply step down. We'll do one more while we're here. Walls are helpful. When we stand and take warrior one next to the wall, there's a chest opener here for us. Whatever hand is closest to the wall, we'll set that back just out of view. Open up the hands, inhale, or the hand. And glide the shoulder down. So to me, I almost image a little rotation through my arm bone. And the elbow points down. Release. We're getting some nice ventilation up there. So still all part of this continuum of breath can feed the head. So let's note that as we switch into the other side. A little rotation of the bone, the sliding, shifting down of the shoulder. As we're breathing into the pec and the chest, the neck is supple, able to receive and transmit breath to the head. If you feel like a tourniquet, kind of a pressure system, like a dam around the brain, keep playing, keep finding ways to softly escort breath into the brain. To me, though, the breath into the abdomen is pretty hearty. It's substantial. And the breath that transmits into the head space, it feels very fine. So when we're breathing into these various regions of the body, and I would say, especially from the lower body to the higher body, there's a different fineness. Again, it's just like that radio dial. They're just different bigness and smallness of the shape of frequency as we kind of roll through the radio spectrum. So we have to kind of find that right fineness, that right substantiveness to breathe well into our body. So let's release. We got a little bit more to do. We're just getting warm. When we've parted ways with the wall, we come back and we'll stand at the top of mat. Inhale, drawing arms up. Exhale, fold. When we inhale the left foot back for lunge, I'm slipping into place a bit of blanket. Now I set the top of the left foot down for arrow lunge, the top of the left foot down. A nice strong structure through that foot so it doesn't just sickle out to the side. Strong structure. Exhale, pressing down, reach back, especially through that big toe side. That'll help maintain the structure around the ankle. When you release the knee down, the cushion's there, feels nice. Left hand grab left ankle, heel to butt lunge. Release. Set the knee down. For me, I have to remove the cushion under the knee to get into this pigeon. So walk the right foot over. Lie the shin and knee down. We're going to do this in 2 parts. I left a little piece out, but hopefully you can find a prop easily without disassembling your pigeon too much. And the prop is for our forehead. We're actually going to shift our trunk lower to the ground. And I'm just setting a block or a blanket out just to put my forehead down. I'm not trying to use my head as a push point, but I just want to bring my back all the way down so that I can interlace my hands behind my pigeon butt, and I'll reach the knuckles back. So we're doing this first without a back bend. Something I find exquisitely fascinating is this having a fixed, an anchor point for the head, while the hips might be releasing, while the shoulders might be relaxing, releasing. It's something we don't have a whole lot of poses for in our yoga lexicon, is feeling the spiral of the body from a fixed head point. So I'm very soft on my forehead. Okay, I'm going to release the hands and press the head off the object, the blanket or the block. And once you take that pressure off the forehead, the block, let's take an additional breath. So just feel the neck relax. We're tiny little creatures. We actually use our head to kind of nudge on the earth, and we figure out a whole bunch of head and neck movement by kind of pushing our body around our head. And I just think it's a wonderful exploration of the neck and head, and we just don't have a lot of it in yoga, except maybe headstands. Inhale, walk the hands under your shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. Right, inhale the left foot forward. Arrow lunge to start. I'm setting the right knee down on cushion. Top of right foot contacting the earth, and then exhale, delivering a line of zest through that leg, through that foot, helping that right foot stay structured. Reaching through the big toe. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm pointing the toes, but if you have some dance background, you've probably are accustomed to pointing. You can actually flare, spread your feet, and reach through the big toe. So that's just a note to the dancer types and those who have trained their feet to point. There you go. Deep breath. As you're pressing through the ankle and the neck are very deeply related. The ankle, the hip, the neck. So that strong line of structure and energy through that ankle is the neck, brain. Is that area open, breathable, fluid? There you go. Soft, setting the right knee down. Heel to butt lunge. The right hand, grab the right ankle. And if there's kind of that buildup of tension around the quad, just notice for that spread of tension elsewhere. Sometimes it's the head, the back of the head, or the eyes. If you noticed a change in how your eyes feel. And release. Inhale, we'll let the right foot down. Pigeon, I'm moving the blanket. You may need to reinsert it under your hip. Letting the left leg all the way down. Now moving my torso down, just so I'm not incurring a lot of back bend for this. Once I get fairly sufficiently down, folded, I'm going to use my props to give me just a little forehead touch. Interlacing the hands behind the back. So if there's some wiggle in your hips, as you're working this chest opener, you may feel like you're rotating like on a spit. Instead of using the head and the neck to steer you, just put a little something under your hip for now. We can grow accustomed to that rotation stuff later. I think it's best to learn easy on the neck. Okay. Inhaling into the chest, and then exhale, reaching those interlaced hands back toward the back of the mat. I'm in this shape. We're in this shape. Just so we keep the neck fairly neutral, the back sort of neutral. Neutral's not a great word, but just not bent, not too much working. Not twisted, not flexed, not extended, just being a spine. And release. Inhale, we'll let the hands down. Place them under shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. And the ankles being deeply related to that neck. Then reach the heels, creating that ankle crease of sorts. Not a flattening of the arch, but just kind of working into the ankle, heels reaching toward the ground, and feel the neck relax. All right, I'm gonna do one more thing. Inhale, draw your right knee between your hands. Oops. Is that the side? Yes, that's the side. The right knee between the hands. So we're gonna work pigeon with a little bit of a back bend now. So you may need to get something to shore up the right hip a tiny bit. And I'm going to show you a couple of ways we can play with this. So once that left leg is drawn back, walked back behind the hip, this is the pigeon I imagine us getting into today, where both hands can grab the ankle, and we're creating a little lifting up but melting forward. Now, I realize that this hip thing can be a wobbly situation for some of us. So, one of the things, this is just an invention, might not be my favorite one, but if it's a real balance situation, you might be able to use a wall to create a little, almost like a pull-up, that traction and that melt. So that'd be kind of an alternate invention to this. You can kind of lean the chest forward, taking some of the bend out of the back. You could do this one hand on the wall, so you can lean quite a bit forward and do one foot, one hand. So just a little extra funny business. You know, always just, after a certain time, we're just cutting new angles into the same deep wells. Or just looking for ways to keep doing the stuff that we love with different leverage points and assists. So here we go. You're going to have to figure out your hip situation and that feeling of sinking and not spinning out. And then inhaling into the chest, into the heart. As it lifts forward. So your spine gets more and more decompressed. As you're exhaling, the foot pressures the hand or the hands. And this allows you to kind of get pulleyed up. There you go. Yeah. So those arms get drawn all the way back. Wonderful. And we'll give it a few breaths. There's no reason to speed away. And release. Inhale, we'll let that foot down. Let's take the right leg. Instead of stepping back into downward dog, let's step it back and lower belly to earth. This way we can take 1 or 2 breaths into the belly and breathing into the back. And then as you set the hands for cobra, again, breathing into the abdomen, pulling the chest forward. And then exhale, pulling the chest forward as we lower down. And exhale, we'll press back to our knees or into downward dog. So switch sides. So inhale, we'll step the left knee forward. So pigeon, where both hands grab the right ankle. I would say the most important overlooked feature here is the alignment of that right knee. When we want to grab that foot, sometimes we'll negotiate the position of the knee for the grab. No compromise. Keep the knee behind the hip. So as you're bending the knee, the heel comes directly from behind toward your butt, not from the side. So it's going to feel like the quad muscle is bearing the weight of that right leg, not the side of the knee bone, the quad muscle. And release. Inhale, set the hands down under the shoulders. For this one, we'll exhale, slide that left knee back under the pelvis. Remain on hands and knees and do a round of Uddiyana as a form of release for all this back region. Inhale. And moderate, mild exhale out the mouth. Remain empty and draw the belly in and back and up. Now when you release, walk the hands about 10 or 12 inches forward. Pardon me. And when we do the Uddiyana, you'll slightly shift the hips back. It's not quite embryo. It's like a middling ground. So inhale into the low belly, low back. The hands are stretched forward a little bit. Almost feels like a downward dog position almost. Mild to moderate exhale. And as you draw the belly in, back and up, shift the hips back a few inches. And letting the belly go to breathe. Let's lie on our back. We'll finish with some abdominals and the ground bit, the business of ground. Back to where it all began. So we knew these as a back release, elbow to knee. Inhale, the head, shoulders off the ground. Curl tailbone. Exhale, reach the left leg. Go straight up. Reach that left elbow as if you want to reach out over the right hip bone. Pull low belly down. Inhale, back to center. Curl tail. Exhale, right leg reach. Elbows reach. Pull low belly down. So the reach of the arm, the shoulder blade wrap, it's going to help kind of spread out the back tissue. Inhale, back to center. So I'll describe it again. Curl tail. Exhale as you reach the left leg up. Imagine your left elbows reaching out over your right hip. Cross the body, out in front. Pull low belly down. Try to get some of that lat to spread. Inhale, back to center. Curl tail. Exhale, right leg reach. Go straight up. Right elbow reach, cross body as if toward left hip. I say as if. I'm not actually going cross my body. Let's do one more side. Inhale. Curl tail. Exhale, left leg up. Left elbow as if trying to cross body, reaching over the right hip. Pull low belly down. And one on the other side. Good. And release the head down. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Grab a hold of that left thigh, and with active flexed right foot, deep inhale into the low belly and the low back. There you go. You got it. As you're exhaling, that ease draw in of the leg. Feel how that relaxes, smooths all of that beautiful tissue that leads right up to the brain as well as the tail. You might even feel your neck relaxing on the ground, your head kind of we'll switch sides. Crossing the left ankle over the right quad, thigh. And release. All right, we should rest. It is written for us to rest. So Shavasana. We're going to image this first, and then later on when you go about your day, you can do it as a human-to-human practice. We're going to select a person to whom we feel kind of neutral. They're not our best friend. We might know them, not know them, but we don't have any difficulties with them. Just a neutral person. Might be the bus driver, might be the construction worker, the dog walker. Just a neutral person. Someone toward whom we have no animosity or preference. And toward this neutral person, we in our mind's ear, in our mind's voice, direct to them, say to them, may you be happy. May you be at peace. May you live with ease. May you be free from suffering. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you live with ease. May you be free from suffering. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you live with ease. May you be free from suffering. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you live with ease. May you be free from suffering. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you live with ease. May you be free from suffering. When you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side and press to seated. Namaste.